Hi everybody, it's Rudy at Claude Painting Studio and I'm back with a new painting guide, this time for some Jaegers Pferd from Wurttemberg. These are some Piano Wargames 28mm figures. These are metal casts, but they are available as STL files for 3D printing. And they're like Cavalry from the little Principality of Wurttemberg, or Duchy, I suppose, that was allied with France in the Napoleonic period. The model has been primed with Colourforge White, then has had a wash of Army Painter Light Tone that's been diluted 1 part light tone to 2 parts wash medium, and then dry brushed with Vallejo Ivory once that is dry. I did that work initially to add a bit of pre-shading, and also it's really quite useful for getting a lot of the white that's on the model kind of painted before you do anything else. The skin, I've put on a layer of Dwarf flesh, which is one of Vallejo Xpress colours. I've got some contrast Dark Angels green, and I'm going to start painting his jacket with this, avoiding the lapels on the front and the piping. They're going to be a different colour. He's wearing some riding gloves. I'll leave them too. There's some epaulets and a collar to avoid. And there's quite a few straps. Straps are always difficult to get around. You can jump to a smaller brush to do this part. I forgot to say that when it comes to priming the model, you could just leave it in any light colour. The pre-shading that I've done, it helps me see the details, plus it sort of takes care of a lot of the white, as I mentioned. One other thing you want to do with dark green, finish the arm, but the comb along the top of the helmet here would be dark green most of the way up, but it would sort of have a white stripe along the top. So the jacket will need finished off. And one other thing I will do with the green, let's get the horse over. You can see that I've pre-shaded the horse cloth as well, and I'm going to paint that with the Dark Angel green, avoiding the saddle, the straps. And this little valise where the Jaeger would carry his personal belongings, that's getting painted as well. Try and avoid the straps that are on that. There's a little bit of insignia on here. Doesn't matter if you go over that too much. But again, you can work around it and leave it in white to save yourself a bit of time later. Moving on to areas of black leather. I'm using dark rubber, which is from the Vallejo Panzer Races range. It's a really dark grey. So we've got the boots, a bit of leather cover on the end of the carbine. All the straps on the model are going to be black as well. Cartridge box, I'm not too worried about going over insignia and buckles because I'll pick them out with a metallic paint later. And the helmet as well. Again, it's got some metallic areas on it, some banding, which will get picked out later. Chin strap. The riding gloves. Straps on the front. Belt. Pick them all out with dark rubber. I've also used the dark rubber to do all the horse flesh, the hooves, straps on the horses as well. Next of all, on our Jaeger, I'm going to do the wood of the carbine. And I'm using Vallejo Game Extra Opaque Heavy Sienna. It's a discontinued colour, but in the description I will list alternatives as well as all the paints that have been used in this process. Doing facings now with some Speedpaint Princess Pink from the Army Painter, as well as the lapels. I'm going to do the collar. And there's also the outer part of the epaulets as well. So there's quite a lot of metalwork to pick out on this model. There's the obvious things like the sabre, the metalwork of the musket, we've got the scabbard, stirrups. There's a few buckles on the model. There's a plate on the cartridge box. Centre of the epaulets, leaving a pink margin. The helmet has quite a few as well. There's a plate in the centre. There's some banding. And the rim of the visor. On the front of the model, you've got buttons. And there's another buckle. And of course, I should say that I'm using Army Painter plate mail metal to pick out all these silvery bits. And there's a couple of parts of the carbine to paint with Vallejo model colour brass. The butt, and also some of the ribbing. Before I move on to some washes, I'm bringing the horses back in for a look. I've used a bit of Paratrooper tan from the Army Painter to this little blanket roll. You can see a couple of points on the horse tack where I've used some of the plate mail metal. If you look at a front-on view of the horse, you can see on the forehead and across the chest where the straps attach. I've made up a wash of Army Painter Dark Tone diluted with wash medium in equal parts. I'm not applying this over the whole model. I will apply it to any metalwork areas, also any black areas. The brown of the carbine will get a wash. I'll try and avoid white areas, and green and pink. And I won't apply it to the face. On the horse, I'll try and avoid the white of the saddle cloth. Apart from where the little insignia is, sometimes a bit of wash around there will help to shade that. But apart from the rest of the green and white, I will get a layer of this wash all over the horse. With the wash stage complete, I'm going to move on to some highlights. I'm starting with some Eschen Grey from Games Workshop. And all of the dark grey areas that were painted with Panzer Aces are getting this highlight. When highlighting, try and stick to the edges. Also doing this on the horse model, avoiding the deeper recesses. The second highlight of the dark grey areas is with some Army Painter Wolf Grey. keeping these highlights really fine. So I've done the straps on the horses in the same manner using the wolf grey. I'm going to highlight the horse flesh, but I'm using London grey from Vallejo. I like to differentiate between the leather and the horse flesh by using a different highlight colour. And these highlights are really fine. First highlight of the green is with Army Painter Angel Green, avoiding the deepest recesses. And I'll do this on both the jacket, the horsecloth, and round the plume. The second highlight colour for the green is Vallejo Model Colour Deep Green. This will be applied to the horsecloth as well as the rider's comb and jacket. My highlight colour for the pink is Shocking Pink from Coat d'Arms. Some Coat d'Arms Rat Brown highlights the wood. First skin highlight is with Cobalt Skin from the Army Painter. This is from the older War Paints range. I will put an equivalent in the description. Same is true of the second flesh highlight colour. This is Corpse Pale. Alternative below. Doing some additional highlighting of the white. This is Off-White from Vallejo Model Colour. Areas like the piping can benefit from a pure white highlight. I've got Coat d'Arms white, but any white will do. Using Vallejo Silver to highlight the metalwork. And here's a look at the finished squadrons. So 6 models in total, all based with Vallejo earth texture, which has been dry brushed, and then some tufts from warpainter.net added. These models are part of a commission, so very thankful to my client for letting me paint them on video. I can't say enough good things about Piano Wargames figures. They are truly excellent sculpts, and the metal casts are superb. And the 3D prints, when they're done in resin, are very nice as well. So go check them out. I hope this was a useful video for anyone looking to learn how to paint light cavalry from the Napoleonic period. There's lots of the techniques used here which are applicable across many armies. I think Russian Jaegers, you'd be using some fairly similar colours. Less likely to have the pink facings though. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions, please pop them below the video and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks to my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members for helping to support the channel. If you'd like to chip in as well, there's some links in the description. Bye for now.